Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Femme Alchemy Podcast, and this is an episode part of the Shakti Soul Sessions series. And today I am drawing inspiration from this beautiful Kuan Yin Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. And it stems from the oracle card that I drew today for our sadhana practice. We are only 7 days out from doing our 40 days sadhana practice. Our Kriya sadhana is a daily spiritual action. And so every day I have been leading our sadhana practice of doing this specific Kriya, working on creativity, because I thought it would be a beautiful opportunity to prepare for the last couple of months of Q4 that are bringing us into 2025 around manifestation and really honing in on our desires. And so I've been doing that for the last many days, for the last 33 days. And so I'm just excited actually that it'll be coming to a close, and for everyone that's showing up beautifully in person, or not in person, practicing with us online and doing their own individual practice. It's just really beautiful to come together. And I thought it was so apropos because the card that I pulled was about community and building community and stepping into healing in community. And so the card is called Sisters of the Star Blossoms, and I will link in the show notes the actual deck that I'm using because it's really beautiful. And anytime that I share from this deck, people are always wondering, oh my gosh, which deck is it? It's so beautiful. And when I do actually post it online, people always comment and share how much this deck has changed their lives. So if you haven't used it, haven't worked with it, I suggest that you do so because it's just really beautiful. All these different messages that each of the cards has is just so depth and profound. And so today it's called the Sisters of the Star Blossoms. It is good to remember that whilst we each take our own unique journey back into divine bliss and truth, we have plenty of friends that love us unconditionally and wish to help us find the way home with the least suffering and greatest joy. When we allow ourselves to be helped, we help others too. It's a spiral of support and love that is wishing to connect more so with you now. So group energy is powerful. When used consciously, can help us expand in the same way that if you were doing any task, many hands can make light work. As the saying goes, many hands can also make light work too. So your energy can help nourish and lift the energy of others in a group as you're able to carry a high vibration of love in your heart. The ancient Chinese over 2,000 years ago referred to the Pleiades as the star blossoms. These 7 stellar sisters work together as a group higher consciousness to radiate great love and light on our planet, and they can assist you now to find the light in the groups within which you share involvement. It is service to connect with heart-centered groups that feel good and improve the quality of your life, and to be supported and supporting of such groups. And you are guided to allow this to happen more in your life right now. Solitary peace is an important element of growth and can be extremely powerful, but sometimes group energy is an important element of your spiritual growth too, and you are encouraged to meditate, pray, and chant with groups and communities that resonate with your heart. Sometimes more spiritually advanced souls subconsciously feel that they need to carry the group energy themselves. You're guided to surrender any extra responsibility, to assume your natural cooperation, perhaps even authority in the group from a place of love rather than burden, and to allow yourself to be lifted as well as contributing your light and love to your chosen group and communities. The Sisters of the Star Blossoms know that group energy is give and take, that when we allow ourselves to thrive, so too can the group gain energy and grow. You're guided now to balance your involvement with group energy so that you have ample time in solitude to know yourself as a unique divine being, and in group energy on the inner planes, calling on your spiritual guidance that loves you unconditionally, and with group energy on the physical plane through groups that nourish you and love you in a way that feels so good for you. This oracle is also guidance to call upon stellar energies that are unconditionally loving and supportive, and the appearance of the Sisters of the Star Blossoms indicates that you have a soul connection that can nourish you to higher vibrational star consciousness, such as that of the Pleiades. And that's actually that's the excerpt that I'm going to read. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but ultimately, what I gleaned from that was just the power of communities. And when I think about any time that I have done something on my own before, it was just very hard to do it on my own. I think it's so important to ask for help, and asking for help isn't necessarily defeat. It's not And when people say surrender, people think, oh my gosh, I'm surrendering. It means that I'm not winning, or it means that I'm not having any type of momentum in the things that I'm doing, when really surrendering is actually moving to the other side. And just as asking for help is actually moving towards the other side. And so when I reflect on the different communities that I've been a part of, whether it's 12-step communities, whether it's working with group coaching, being a participant in group coaching, being in different programs, being in cohorts for school, or being in cohorts for new employees that come into the office. There is just this beautiful aspect of coming together in a group and doing healing. Because I know when I'm by myself, if I'm ascetic or I'm in a mountain or I'm in solitude, sure, there is that balance of having that beautiful solitude of knowing and going inwards into yourself and having those reflections and not have anyone influence how you think, what you say, and just really have that original unique thought. But there is beauty in being able to share those insights with other people and know that you are not alone. And I think it's very beautiful when you come to practice. Like I remember when I was little and I would go to church with my family and we would practice in community. We would go to mass. And even when you think about yoga practices, practicing in a group, or when I did my yoga teacher training for both of my different certifications or all my certifications that I've done, it's always been at a group level. And that's why I have so much love and passion for doing community-led type of activities, whether it's in-person events, whether it's doing different programs online. And anytime that I have been in a group, that's where I have seen the most momentum. And that's why I actually wanted to do this group sadhana, because even though my teacher, she talked about this too when we were doing yoga training, that you can meditate and you can do sadhana by yourself, but you only tap on the individual consciousness. But when you do it together in a group, there's just so much collective energy and so much healing power that you can create together. And when I pulled this card today, I just thought about the magic that's happening in our container, the magic that's happening in how we show up for each other, whether we practice together as a group, whether we practice together individually. And I have different communities where we also share our wins and being able to support each other and help each other. And so it just made me think of all of the different groups that you are a part of, and this could be your attention for today, is how are you showing up into your local community? You're making a commitment to show up in your group, but there needs to be this balance of giving, but then also receiving. And so for a while, I remember in different fellowships, different communities that I was a part of, I was often always taking and not necessarily wanting to give back. And there's this concept in yoga where it talks about seva, which is selfless service of, how can you show up in community? How can you do community service and not expect anything back, but just have it be part of the greater good? And it's so interesting because I actually just watched Doctor Strange today. I've never seen that Marvel movie, but I've seen the one that came out in 2022, and I just saw the origins of how he got his power, and oh my God, it was so good. I love dabbling into understanding the mystic arts and mysticism and everything like that. And metaphysics. And, towards the end, the woman talks about how he has such an inflated ego and that it's all about how can you be of service to something other than you. And so sometimes when we join something to alleviate the burden of whatever challenge we're feeling, and this idea of suffering can happen in groups as opposed to suffering alone, and you feel that pain just start to lessen. But as you start to heal in a group, what are the contributions that you can give back to the group? What is your emotional investment? What is the wisdom that you are sharing with others in the group? And oftentimes it's so easy to be selfish and just glean whatever you need from the group and kind of just piggyback off of it and just take it and not share it with any other people, but maybe even you take it as your own and maybe you start to sell it as your own. But at the same time thinking, okay, if I make a commitment to show up every day, how am I engaging fully 100% within the group? Am I participating? Am I showing up to different things? Am I offering service? Can I help make it a better experience for other people? Do I have suggestions? Does the person, do the leaders of that particular organization need help with, with me offering my time. And it just made me really think of this idea of giving back, because a lot of these communities can't run on their own. They just really can't. And so I highly encourage you to think today, okay, how can I show up 100% for my communities that I have committed to? And what is the level of contribution that I am willing to give after receiving so much? And so it's almost like, how do you restore the balance between both, right? Between giving, between taking. But anyways, I love doing stuff in community. I often have many things that are in community. I have an EFT tapping circle that's happening monthly. So if you've never tried emotional freedom technique, it's this beautiful technique that allows you to move stagnant energy in your body. And I love doing it in practice of circle, in addition to doing one-on-one. But I think it's so important to have this level of community, this level of also sisterhood, and allowing us to heal those relationships of connection with each other. Oftentimes there's just so much competition in the world. Oftentimes our ego just tells us we're better than other people, or maybe we're not better than other people, and we think lesser of ourselves. But how can we come together in a group and create more change in this world? Because we can't do everything alone. We can't. Just as a leader needs people to be part of their leadership team in any type of form, whether it's work, whether it's an organization, whether it's, I don't know, whatever it is, there's always a team behind something that can create beautiful change in this world. And so when I think of the beautiful people that are coming together to heal themselves, it has those ripple effects. And obviously, when you change yourself, you can change the people around you to think differently, to question things differently too, and question the way that they're living, and hopefully create a place that's actually beautiful. And so that's why I love doing this work and providing opportunities where people can heal together, whether it's through the EFT tapping circles, whether it's through the yoga, the sadhana, the Kundalini sadhana that I'm doing, whether it's different group coaching, whether it's different memberships. But I just love providing that. And so the two ways that you can actually heal in a group setting is, one, through the EFT tapping circles every single month. And I will share the link in the show notes of how to get involved and sign up. And then the other is through the daily sadhana that I have. So this one is coming to close in the next 7 days, but you can still join us. You can still join the Telegram group. It's absolutely free. I'm still planning on what the next one will be and taking a break, obviously, just because I've been doing it for 33 days straight, and I'll do it for 40 days straight. So just want to be mindful of my energy and my time, and just offering different types of events locally. But those are just some of the ways that you can get involved with allowing yourself to be in community of like-minded people. I know anytime that I feel like I'm doing something alone, I'm always trying to find community to help lessen the load, lessen the burden. I'm always in different business communities as well, always trying to find people, especially in the entrepreneurship community, because it can be a pretty lonely ride. But it's just such a beautiful fellowship to be with others who have that same desire to change and work on themselves as well. And so I encourage you today to think of, how can you contribute back, not just to the world, but in your local communities? And I remember the first time this really impacted me is when I was looking at a retreat, and I saw the questions for retreat, and they were talking about, what is your relationship to service? How do you give back to your local community? What does it mean to give back to your local community? And what it does is actually reframes it reorients you to thinking bigger of your existence. Sometimes it's so easy to just get caught up in our own problems, in our own challenges, in our own worlds, and not think, oh, wow, maybe I should just go out and help someone else because I'm so self-centered right now. And I should probably just focus on other issues that are just much bigger than me. And oftentimes what will happen is you will find that the problem or the challenge that you were ruminating on just becomes not a big deal when you start to think about other people other than yourself. And so I love that it's a beautiful antidote to think of, okay, how can I just be of service to other people, right? And so thinking of today, thinking of your presence in the world, how can you create more change by being in fellowship, by being in community, by connecting with other people, by helping other people and sharing your insights? Because I do firmly believe that everyone has a beautiful gift to share, a beautiful message to share. So just really own your voice and be unafraid to be seen and acknowledge for the beautiful, unique being that you are. All right. Beautiful souls, that is another episode, short one, totally riffed on it. But anyways, I will catch you all tomorrow. Bye.